What's the speed?
Over 10,000 miles an hour. At the moment, it's headed straight for London.
Bursting out of today's headlines, the spine-tingling tale of an invader from the distant reaches of the universe.
There is no doubt that a large object landed here and disappeared.
Incredible. The sphere's changing. It's growing unbearable. I can't stand it any longer.
I'm going to get him out of there.
I don't think any human mind thought it up. And I don't believe any human hand built it.
A fantastic creature armed with superhuman power, kidnapping beautiful girls to satisfy his primitive lust for violence and savagery. Blood Beast from Outer Space. For the shock of your life, see Blood Beast from Outer Space. Who knows what eyes are watching Earth? Watching.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Day 7 of the 31 Days of Howling Beasts. I am your host, Gary Hill, for this one. And I'm doing a film tonight. It's a British film. When I say tonight, it's probably night for you UK people, which is appropriate because this is a UK film. I'm recording this kind of late. I got kind of sick yesterday, so got behind on everything. But I'm doing well now. But I am doing Blood Beast from Outer Space, a.k.a. the Nightcaller, a.k.a. Nightcall from Outer Space from 1965. It is directed by John Gilling, who gave us some Hammer stuff, including Plague of the Zombies, which is probably a big one that everybody knows. Probably some of my favorite looking zombies of all time are in that movie. Just sunken eyes and terrifying, and yeah. Screenplay by Jim O'Connelly, who did some good directing stuff. He directed the Valley of Gwangi. If you know what that is, that's one of those big dinosaur films I happen to enjoy. And check that out. Check out Valley of Gwangi. It's a great film too. Based on a novel by Frank Crisp. This feels like a film that's based on a novel, and I'll tell you why. It's basically about, because I'm not going to read the IMDb thing, because it just gives everything away that you'd want to know in like one sentence, and that's bullshit. So whoever wrote this synopsis, go fuck yourself. But it's about this orb that is this object that falls from space. And doctors find it. It's like a silicon-based, like small thing. It's about the size of. It looks like the size of a basketball. And they're baffled by it because at the rate it was giving off radioactive things with the Geiger counters, and now it's not doing anything. It responds to sound, like I think that Steven Spielberg saw when he made this. When he made stuff like this, when he made or did research like this, when he made Close Encounters, with the idea of the alien being attracted by sound. And it turns out this orb is not an orb at all. It is a being inside the orb that wakes up, kills one of our scientists, and escapes promptly to go abduct women for its own means. And the cat meows. I apologize, but I forgot to tell you who stars in this film. We have the great John Saxon, and in one of those early roles. I mean, he's like clean cut, man. As Dr. Jack Costain, Maurice Denham as Dr. Morley. You may know him from so all the voices in the original Animal Farm animated film from 1954. So if you've seen that, shows up in Day of the Jackal. He shows up in some good stuff here, and check him out. More notably, Patricia Haynes, who plays Dr. Ann Barlow. It's not in there in the credits, but Fancy that, a smart female protagonist in a 1960s movie, because she plays the role pretty well. She was the original Emma Peel on the Avengers, not that Avengers people, but the British one with Patrick Macnee and secret agents or whatnot. Other notable character actors: Aubrey Morris plays Thornburn, who's the sleazy bookstore owner who's harboring our alien, if you will, basically being his connection. Aubrey Morris shows up he's in a lot of things, but he shows up most notably as Mr. Deltoid in Clockwork Orange. But he's in The Wicker Man, he's in tons of stuff. You recognize that sleazy face, and you almost hear Mr. Deltoid say, yes, yes. He was in Life Force, of course. Check him out, man. Aubrey Morris has been a gem in many, many things. Just to be that sleazy, he almost has to look like he's guilty. And that's kind of what I love about that character actor. But the meat and potatoes of it is, the thing escapes. It has a moment with our lady scientist, to where she hears a noise. She sees a clawed hand come out of the door to try to grab her. She promptly closes and locks the door once again, because once the white folks hear a noise, they gotta go open a locked door and see what's going on. Because she's seen a glowing light emitting from the door, and of course she's very curious. But the thing is not to be found. The orb's not to be found. So of course she's set up to be a typical, patsy to say, hey, it's just a woman. She's talking about crazy things. Might be that time of the month. They don't say that in the movie, but pretty much 1965, and there's Duchess talking to us. It's fine, though. Saying that kind of stuff. But anyway, one of our good doctor, Dr. Jack, notices a foot out the window that is not of this earth. It looks like a lizard foot, and this gets his suspicions up until the thing promptly escapes. All of a sudden, it's one of those things where it magically knows how to drive because it steals a car and blasts its way out. And then this film does a thing where it fast forwards a few weeks. You find out that over 200 women have been, mysteriously disappeared. They've been either kidnapped. They don't know what's going on. They're just not around anymore. And they find out that it's all linked to this racy bikini magazine that had a ad in the want ads in the back looking for nubile young women, and blah blah blah. They're looking for women to be models, and 200 women apparently respond to this call and are visited by a tall dark stranger with a scarf over his face, and they are abducted. Given that this is like a police procedural at this point a little bit, because they're given stories by eyewitnesses, i.e. the parents of one of the girls, and then it's all linked back to this bookstore that I mentioned that Aubrey Morris is running, and he's basically the middleman for this alien who's taken these women for some undisclosed reason. It gives the reason in the end. I don't want to give away. Usually these sci-fi films have like the weird, Mars needs women just to like change them into really beautiful beings aboard a ship or whatever you want to call it. This is for a much more scientific reason and a very, I'm not going to say a just reason. I don't change kidnapping women is just, but it's very, very smart. The biggest crime this film has is that for a film called Blood Beast from Outer Space or Nightcrawler from Outer Space, it's got a giant claw attacking a woman on the front of the poster with army tanks and spaceships up in the corner over here. UFOs invade Earth. Space creatures snatch girls to mysterious planet. That is the thing's intention. But for the reasons, it's something had to do with a failed experiment that happened 100 years ago. But the biggest crime this film has is it's got this big poster, and it gives you a lot of expectations that this is a monster movie. and it's not really a monster movie. It's more about this one alien's mission to find, what it failed to do, or what its race of people failed to do all those years ago, which is basically made them imperfect. So it needs these women to experiment on, and blah, blah, blah. Don't want to give a reason why, but there's a reveal at the end. You're very surprised what the alien looks like, and he explains why he looks the way he looks like. But it's Blood Beast from Outer Space. There's not a lot of information about the making of this movie. Just to let you know that it was well received by people, and I could see why, because it's very smart. So for an hour and 25 minutes, I'd say you'll be entertained. But if you're looking for a monster movie, do not look for it in Blood Beast from Outer Space, because you're just not going to get it. And I'm not even going to call that a shame. I just, you have other films for stuff like this, but this one, another thing, kind of abruptly ends, but not really, But, yeah, not a super high recommend on your list, but it's a 5.5 on your IMDb. Give it a watch for the cheesy theme music and the very solid plot of this film that, from the poster, from the title, should be a hamburger with extra cheese, but it's not. It's a very surprising watch, and I think you guys will dig it. That's Blood Beast from Outer Space. I will include the YouTube link and to watch this film. This very serviceable film on there. But yeah, we'll check you guys all again. And day 8 of the 31 Days of Howling Beasts, which will include a review from our man R.J. McCready, who's doing the 1977 TV movie Winter Beast, starring Bo Svensson, who you may know from many, many genre films, Yvette Mimieux from The Time Machine, and some other goodies. And there's somebody else of note. Oh, Rance Howard's in that movie. It's full of 1970s people that you may know. He gives us a fine review of that film. And I think you guys are all going to dig it. I know I did. I listened to all these, before, pretty much right when I get them. So first and foremost, thank you to my podcasting brothers and sisters for contributing to this and, keeping me entertained. I hope they're doing that for you too. But like I said, Snow Beast 1977 will be your next installment on day 8 of the 31 Days of Howling Beasts.